Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be sharing about AWS Cloud Practitioner Certification Real Exam Question and Answers Part 3. And I have created Part 1 and Part 2 videos, and I'll leave the link to those videos in the description box so you can go and check it out. You can check those questions as well because they are also a part of this series. And I recently cleared AWS Cloud Practitioner Certification, and I practiced these questions to pass my exam. So it's really worth checking out these questions. So without any further ado, let's get started. So our 21st question is, a company needs to simultaneously process hundreds of requests from different users. Which combination of AWS services should the company build an operationally efficient solution? So in order to build an operationally efficient solution, what combination of services the company should use in order to process hundreds of requests from different users? So the correct answer for this is A, and let me read out the options over here. So the options are A, simple SQS and AWS Lambda, AWS Data Pipeline and Amazon EC2, then Amazon Kinesis and Amazon Athena, and AWS Amplify and AWS AppSync. And the correct answer is A, which is Amazon Simple Queue Service, SQS, and AWS Lambda. So let's look into the next question. The next question is, what is the scope of a VPC within the AWS network? And the options are A VPC can span all availability zones globally. A VPC must span at least two subnets in each AWS region. C, a VPC must span at least two edge locations in each AWS region. D, a VPC can span all availability zones within an AWS region. And the correct answer is D, that an VPC can span all AZs within an AWS region. So that's the scope of VPC in AWS network. So it can span over all the availability zones within an AWS region. Now let's look into the next question, which is question number 23. Which of the following are components of an AWS site-to-site VPN connection? So your options are AWS Storage Gateway, Virtual Private Gateway, NAT Gateway, Customer Gateway, Internet Gateway, and you have to choose two options. And the correct answer is B and D, which is Virtual Private Gateway and Customer Gateway. Now let's move on to next question. Next question is question number 24. The question is, a company needs to establish a connection between two VPCs. The VPCs are located in two different AWS regions. The company wants to use the existing infrastructure of the VPCs for this connection. Which AWS service or feature can be used to establish this connection? And the options are AWS Client VPN, VPC peering, AWS Direct Connect, or VPC endpoints. And the correct answer is B, VPC peering. So basically, VPC peering is used to establish the connection between two VPCs. Then we have question number 25, which says, according to AWS shared responsibility model, which responsibility does a customer have when using Amazon RDS to host a database? So the options are manage connections to the database, install Microsoft SQL Server, design encryption at rest strategies, apply minor database patches. So basically, it is being asked that under AWS shared responsibility model, what is the responsibility of a customer when the customer is using Amazon RDS to host a database? So the correct answer is A. The customer has to manage the connections to the database. So connection details has to be entered by the customer. Now let's look into question number 26. What are some of the advantages of using Amazon EC2 instances to host applications in the AWS cloud instead of on premises? And you have to choose two options. And these are the options. A is EC2 includes operating system patch management. So the question basically says that you have to choose the advantages of using Amazon EC2 instances to host applications in the cloud instead of on premises. Then the second option is EC2 integrates with VPC, CloudTrail, IAM. EC2 has 100% SLA. Option D is EC2 has a flexible pay as you go pricing model. And option E is EC2 has automatic storage cost optimization. So the correct answer is B and D, which says that EC2 integrates with Amazon VPC, CloudTrail, and IAM. And D option has EC2 has a flexibility of pay as you go pricing model. So it's better to choose EC2 because of these two advantages. Now let's look into question number 27. A user needs to determine whether an Amazon EC2 instance security groups were modified in the last month. How can the user see if a change was made? So these are the options. So how can the user see that whether the Amazon EC2's instance security groups were modified last month or not? So these are the options. So use Amazon EC2 to see if the security group was changed. Option B, use AWS IAM to see which user or role changed the security group. Option C is use the AWS Cloud Trail to see if the security group was changed. Option D is use Amazon CloudWatch to see if the security group was changed. And the correct option is option C, use CloudTrail to see if the security group was changed. Now let's look into the next question, question number 28. So the question is, which service will help protect applications running on AWS from DDoS attacks? So these are the options that is given to you. So the first option is, so we have to determine a service which will help application on AWS to be protected from DDoS attacks. And the options are Amazon Guard Duty, AWS WAF, AWS Shield, and AWS Inspector. So the correct answer is C, AWS Shield. So AWS Shield is used to protect your application that is hosted on AWS from DDoS attacks. Now let's look into the next question. Question number 29. Which AWS service or feature acts as a firewall for Amazon EC2 instances? So these are the options that are given. So network ACL, Elastic Network Interface, Amazon VPC, or security group. So the correct answer is D. The firewall will be your security group. Now let's see question number 30. How does the Amazon cloud pricing model differ from the traditional on-premises storing pricing model? And these are your options. Option A, AWS resources do not incur costs. Option B, there are no infrastructure operating costs. Option C, there are no upfront cost commitments. Option D, there are no software licensing cost. So basically the question is, how is the AWS cloud pricing model different from the traditional all-promising storage pricing model? And the correct answer is B. There are no infrastructure operating costs. So whenever you are deploying your application on AWS, so in that case, you don't have to pay for operating the infrastructure costs. So that's it for today, and I hope you will be doing good in your exam. All the best for your exam, and I'll keep posting such questions and keep a watch on this series. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the video and if it was helpful for you, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.